I want you to picture something. Okay, so there's a boy in front of you. His mischievous grin grabs your attention as he runs away, so of course you follow him. I mean, you need to see what he's up to. He looks around, ensuring he's alone before lifting up a rock and throwing it, shattering a window before screaming, "I hate you, Dad!" You got all that? Perfect. Okay, now picture you're that kid. Congratulations, you were just hired for the gig. I'm so proud of you. Wipe my tears away. Okay, so now you're that kid. You've worked your way through the scene. You feel the anticipation building as the scene starts to rise. You run to your spot. You find that rock. You pick up that rock. You feel it in your hand. Anticipation is building before you throw that rock and you yell your line, "I hate you, Dad!" And just like that, you breathe a sigh of relief. You delivered your lines. You killed it, didn't you? Well, maybe. I mean, I'm not with you. I can't see what you're doing. I'm probably halfway across the world from you, actually. But there's a 95% chance that you delivered it like 95% of the other 500 people who auditioned for the role. And sadly, even if you delivered it absolutely brilliantly, so did a lot of the other people who are going out for the role. So what could you do differently? So let's start by asking you a couple questions that I always like to ask myself whenever I get a new scene. Number one, what's the kid's name? You need to know the name of the person that you're playing because this isn't just a character, it's a living, breathing person that you're bringing to life. So what's their name? And if you can have any character art whatsoever, take a look at it. Are they big? Are they small? Are they buff? Are they jacked? Are they a runner? Are they a swimmer? Do they dress nerdy? Do they dress nice? What do they actually physically look like? Because that will inform a lot about the character. All right, where did this person just come from and why is he alone? So it says that this is a younger person who is running, they stop and they pant. Where did they come from? You need the moment before. Did they just come from a fancy restaurant with their friends and they just had a break, so they just needed to get out of there because someone said something? Did they just come from school and now everything is just emotionally charged and they're running away? Where did they come from? That moment before informs so much about the actual character. So, where did they come from? Why is he alone? Whose house is the person hitting with a rock? He throws this rock. Is it his house? An old house? Is it a friend's house? Whose house are they actually hitting with the rock? Because once again, that gives you so much information. If it's his house, then he wants his parent to see it. He wants it to be a sign of his anger. If it's not, and he's trying to hide it, well, he's just trying to release anger, but he doesn't necessarily want anybody to see it that he knows. All right, what does this person actually want? This is the most important part of the whole thing. What do they want? You have to understand, every narrative, every movie, every play, every scene is driven by a want. And these aren't surface level wants. Like, he's not throwing a rock just because he wants to be destructive. He's throwing a rock because he wants love, because he wants attention, because he wants safety, because he wants better communication. All of these things deep down are deep wants that drive a character to emotionally do something. If you just yell the line and throw the rock just because that's what it says in the script, there won't be an emotionality behind it. So, what does he want by actually doing this? Okay, the parent who he's running away from at this moment, is the dad dead and or alive and distant? Is dead and missed, or alive and trying but not succeeding? So, what is the actual emotional connection with the father in this scene? Is he alive and he just doesn't care about his kid, like he just walked away, just don't give a damn? Is he dead and the kid misses him, and this is his emotional outreach to try and feel better emotionally? Or is he alive and trying his damnedest best, but just not connecting with the kid? You need to know this information. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done there. We're almost there. And last but not least, not last but not least, but for this, what time period is this set in? Is this set in the future where a robot assistant is going to come in like 5 seconds and fix the glass so it's very little consequence? Or do we have very high stakes where that glass was brought in specially for that house? This is an old-timey period, old period, and it's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time to fix. We need to know this so that we understand the consequences of the action. If it's high consequence, high stake, it's going to be even more emotionally charged. You're going to have to take a second, pause, think about it, and then throw. If a robot's just going to come, you're just going to pick up the rock and going to throw it because somebody's going to come and fix it. You're going to go, ugh. So it wasn't really high stakes. So all of these are questions you should ask every time you get a script. These, and obviously more depending on the actual story. Okay. So now that we've got these questions answered, let's go ahead and reimagine the scene. Your character, think human, Christopher, has just run away from his father. His dad just announced that he's getting remarried in the family's favorite restaurant to add insult to injury. It's been 12 years since Christopher's mother passed away, and every day, Christopher's dad tries his damn best to give Christopher the life they always wanted for him. He stops running to catch his breath for a short while before a mischievous grin breaks across his face. He runs to their home, anger in his heart. He just wants things to be the way that they were. He just wants to feel complete again. Hell, he just wants to feel something at that moment. So he picks up a rock and throws it, yelling, I hate you, Dad. And that is the understanding and the context that you need for every single scene. This scene to me has nothing really to do with anger. Here, let me know in the comments down below. What is your interpretation of Christopher's actions? Because to me, this scene plays out of one of sad longing. Christopher just wants his father's attention. So he's doing this action, a destructive action, in order to show out and get his father's attention. I mean, when his dad gets home after being worried sick and looking for him, he's going to see a broken window. And that is a cry for attention. I wouldn't read this line with red hot anger. I'd read it sad, an angry sadness, which is probably what 95% of other people aren't going to be reading this line as. But that's what I do for every single scene, and that's what you can do in order to stand apart. And voice actors, this is where things get fun. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture each section of the scene. We do the same exact thing that I was talking about earlier in the video, but this time, since we're not playing it, we're going to close our eyes. I want you to picture the wind going through your hair, blowing across your face as you run away from the situation. I want you to stop and pant as you're tired from that run. And see and feel the mischievous grin break out across your face. You just had an idea and you start running again. The adrenaline is pumping again as that idea is whirling through your head. I want you to get to that house. Picture that house in front of you and you stop. You look down and you see a rock. You pick up that rock. How does that rock feel? Is it smooth? Is it craggly like this one? Is it cool to the touch? Is it warm with the intensity and the anger that you're feeling? I want you to feel your muscles tense as you get ready to throw it, and I want you to feel that moment of hesitation of, no, don't do this. That's what you get in real life before you do this. I want you to feel that in your chest before you throw that rock and before you say the line into your microphone. And that feeling of intensity is going to come out, the feeling of reality. Because the thing that sets amazing actors apart, the thing that I strive to be, is you are not reading words off of a page. Anyone can do that. I swear to God, anybody or anything can just read words off a page, including a computer. You are bringing a real, breathing person written by these writers to life off of the page. Yes, there are some concrete things. Mother's dead. That's concrete. That ain't changing. Mother is gone. Finito. But how you bring that emotion of sadness and longing to have the love of two parents in one parent to life is completely up to you. But you got to do it real. So, take these tips. Strip out what works for you, leave alone what doesn't work for you. Let me know how it works for you, and I'll catch you in the next video.